Once a thief, always a thief. Once a coot, always a coot. And the late Detective Corporal Rickie, CB, OC Shrimp Clerk Bailey was a known thief, robber, and extortionist. I don't care who wants to be upset with me, but the man was a notorious thief. Yes, Rickie Bailey was a cocaine robber, and he wasn't alone in St. Andrew South Division and other divisions in the police force in Jamaica. And as it is appointed unto men once to die, but after this the judgment. This is from the Holy Bible, Hebrew chapter 9 verse 27. According to the Jamaican Observer last year, 2020, ex-Detective Corporal Rickie Bailey was destined to die. The million-dollar question is, who wanted to kill Rickie Bailey? Why would anyone want to kill the late Detective Corporal Rickie Bailey after he had left the Jamaica Constabulary Force for about 2 decades ago? Why they killed him on January 1st, 2020? Who's behind his killing? These questions are unanswered, and his supporters and those who use to hide his cocaine at their homes are upset with me. To Rickie Bailey's OC CB, OC Shrimp Clerk, co-conspirators, you know what? All of you can go to hell, because you are all thieves too, as you benefited from his robberies when he was a detective. Since the man's death, Rickie Bailey, I have been getting calls like crazy on my cell phone from current and former police officer contacted me about the end of this man because of what I posted in a WhatsApp group with other police officers and former police officers. It was leaked and all over the internet. The biggest problem about the post being leaked is that the person or persons who leaked the post to Wayne Lonesome forgot to send the first part of my post, which is stated like this: Rickie Bailey was a proper police officer to some. To others, he wasn't because of his past deeds as a robber, thief, and extortionist of other people's drugs and shakedown, which I have said. Most notably, when Rickie Bailey, and 2 other detectives from Hunts Bay police station robbed a woman's drugs and money in St. Andrew South, Hunts Bay police area, in one of the upscale neighborhood in Duane Park police area. The woman they stole from her sister was involved in a romantic relationship with Deputy Commissioner of Police. Any police officer who work with me know that I don't like thieving police officers. Police officers can make money without resorting to criminal behavior. There are so many reasons why I don't support these kinds of practice. Because if you are a criminal with a badge, then you are not a police officer, but a thief, a coot. You don't represent the badge because you're just using it to advance your criminality. There are a lot of thieves in the police force, and some of them are popular too. You see artists do songs about them, all kind of stuff. It's because there's a lot of things behind that. Imagine after the robbery, the same police officer then has to return to the crime scene where they robbed the woman of her drugs and money. Then the late Rickie Bailey and the 2 other detectives are forced to return the victim's cash and cocaine to her with an heartfelt apology because they do not want to go to jail. So after the police officer, Rickie Bailey, and his two thieving detective friends rob this woman of her cocaine and her money, they have to return the money and the cocaine, and they have to apologize to her, beg her not to give a statement against them. So she is breaking the law, you know, but they are breaking the law too, because she has the drugs, which is illegal. What they should have done is arrest her, but what they did was robbed her, and so they had to return it because the woman's sister is involved with a deputy commissioner of police. You understand? So, you know, two wrong don't make a right. That's not the police job. Your job is not to rob the woman. You're supposed to arrest her. But that's how these detectives used to operate. Yes, it happened to the three detectives who work at Huntsbury Police Station, Kingston 11, and Rickie Bailey was a part of the crew. After the cocaine robbery, one of the detectives was transferred to another division because he had no coverage. I could have pinpointed where it was transferred, but you know, I'm not gonna do that, because if they had a detective, he knows himself, you know. Yeah, they know themselves. You understand? So that detective who was transferred from St. Andrews, so from Huntsbury Police Station to another division, he had no coverage, no one in the upper echelons of the police force to protect him, so he was transferred. The late Rickie Bailey got a promotion to corporal after that, after the robbery and extortion of this woman's drug and money. That is how the police force treats thieves then. And maybe it continues in Jamaica because people have coverage, protection, and comfort from the top of the police hierarchy. Every police officer, current and former, knew that we are all from low or impoverished background. That is why some of us join the police force back home in Jamaica, because we want to make other people's life better and our family. No rich man children do not enter or serve in the Jamaica Constabulary Force. None. The closest police officer who are from a wealthy background to a rich family was ACP Dick Ebert. This man was an officer in the army, and then he came over and in the police force as a detective. You understand? So he's the closest thing to being a rich man in the police force. You understand? The late Detective Corporal Rickie Bailey wasn't any intelligent police officer either. Let me repeat it. The late Detective Corporal Rickie Bailey wasn't any intelligent police officer. This man wasn't even smart. He was dunce. He was a dunce, but you remember when you used to go to school, back in Jamaica, they said, boy, dunce, but he was that kind of police. I don't know how he got into the force. And he has a low IQ too, a low IQ police officer. The man average on the CIB course was 12% out of 100. And they should have sent him to the cell block to work, because if you cannot pass a detective course, we have to do with law and investigation, and you get 12, you're supposed over there work with the prisoner them to learn how to navigate the system then, because you're not a part of it, because you cannot pass the exam. But he had coverage and remained in the bureau. Although we worked together for years, we weren't friends, because this man collects money and changes that statement in a case with some corrupt police officers. I was charged and went to a court of inquiry for departmental charges as an innocent police officer because of corrupt police officers' action. The late thieving Rickie Bailey and his cohorts, they are the one that did it. Suppose it was not for retired ACP, Assistant Commissioner of Police, Granville John Gaz, I would have gotten what the dog gets. And most of us as Jamaican know what the dog get. You know, even going back to some big boy story. It was a copy of his, Rickie Bailey, original statement that he had submitted at the initial stage of the initial stage of the corrupt investigation, why the case ended during the trial. I sat there patiently listening to this man, Rickie Bailey, the late Rickie Bailey, who lied on me because he has a personal grudge against me. He had some jealousy against me. And it was not until after the case that I knew why he hated me. The late thieving Detective Corporal Rickie C.B. Shrimper Clark Bailey gave a shredded of well-rehearsed evidence, and it sounds brilliant. Blown away. The man, it is the best evidence he have given in his police career. Yeah. When he finished his evidence in chief and the cross-examination started, that's when I know that documents prove liars to be liars. The man, Rickie Bailey, wants to deny his handwriting. His handwriting is crap to handwriting. That you have to use an handwriting expert, had to translate what he's trying to say. That is how bad his statement was and signature. When he was given his original statement and asked to read it, his Rickie Bailey statement, and he read it. Then he was asked, Constable Bailey, because he wasn't then a detective. I was a detective, but he wasn't. Constable Bailey, which one of your statements is true? And this man is not flowers, I'm telling you, the man, this one are not flowers, the man get uglier, man. And he was dumb as a stone because the truth catches up to the thief and robber. That's reinforced to me that documents prove liars to be liars. And the late Rickie Bailey was a thief and a liar. I am forever grateful to retired Assistant Commissioner of Police, Granville John Gaz, for what he did regarding that case. And if it weren't for him, I would go down in flames. You know, that means they would convict me departmentally, all kind of things would have happened. I would have lost my job innocently. Although I despised him for what he did to me, I had never wished any harm to him. Most of the young, ignorant police officer defending him don't know that he was a thief, a cocaine robber, and an extortionist with the powers of arrest. Give me a break. Or is it that they are so blinded with loyalty to the thieves who have served in the police force that it's normal for them to defend him and the other known thieves in the police force and distance and sully the names of good police officers? You know, these are police officers that most of them, they have no problem, kissing up to the thieving police officers, and the good police officers, they shun them. So it's just like a gang. It's like somebody who live in the ghetto. I'm not talking about these stupid people who live in country, but I know ghetto is like Jonestown, Rima, and all those places in Kingston. That's ghetto. You understand what I'm saying? After that, people create their own thing and call it ghetto. You understand? So in the ghetto, you would have people who want to. It's just like George Bang. A man would want to be kiss up to George Bang and be about posse, and then you have a next man now, like a man like, I just say Bob. Bob a good youth, him involved, and nobody no rate Bob because Bob a bad man, and Bob no gun on him thing, and Bob no send nobody or kill nobody. It's the same thing in the police force. where you have a gang culture where the thief in police them popular. Some of them are hard worker too, You know, you understand? Police rate them because them work, but them are thief. So them thief and them work. So you go hand in hand and them thing there. In which it shouldn't be still. Because most are hard worker and them, enough of them are thief too. You understand? Very rare find a police be a hard worker like me who was a crime fighter and man like Gunter and Evan Blake and them you there. You understand? And a thief. Most of them are thief. You understand? The person or person who leak it to Wayne Lunson, leak the information to Wayne Lunson is not a friend of mine or known to me. But what they do, they fail to send my first post, which was done for a nefarious purpose, and to add more police enemies to the list, as if I care about which police or ex-police likes me. I am a police officer. I have more police enemies than criminals. You understand? Even criminals even have to warn me about police. So imagine as a crime fighter, you think that your criminal, hate you, but you know that, can you believe that you have police will hate you more? Not that's because you're ignorant to them, but because them know if them thief and them know what time it is. So you understand? I don't like thief in police. So here's a copy of the note that the anti-police activist Wayne Lunson read on his YouTube channel. And this is what he quotes. We used to work at St. Andrews South as detectives. Rickie Bailey wasn't the brightest. Yeah, he wasn't or intelligent, most imaginative. But he was one of the robbers. He was one of the thieves and extortionists at St. Andrews South who will rob people of cocaine and extort them. And he was a thief. The late Detective Corporal Rickie Bailey migrated because of his close friends, Detective Inspector Donovan O'Connor and former Assistant Commissioner of Police Derek Cowboy Arsmouth Clappy Knight. These men and other superintendent of police were his protector during his reign of thieving. And there were other police who were in this clique with these people. They are all thieves. I was never a part of any clique at South, You understand? Some of us who serve in the Jamaican concert know the character of these thieves that are complicit with their criminal behavior because they want to be friends with their supporters. No, let's be practical here. Here was a man, Rickie Bailey, who failed his detective exam, but because he was connected, was able to continue to work as a detective in which he has no business doing. And he was even promoted to detective too after failing the exam. So that to show you corruption is rampant. So he's getting something that he's not entitled to. He didn't pass it. The hierarchy forced him and two other detectives who robbed the woman of her cocaine and money to return the stolen goods and money and apologize to the victim for the action. Shortly after that, he was promoted to corporal. So after Rickie Bailey thief, he got promoted. You understand? So who was he thieving for? In the organization, he had committed a robbery and extortion, and the same people who should have made sure that he was accountable for his action promoted him to corporal. It was the same scenario with Assistant Commissioner of Police Derek Knight when he was a detective sergeant. He had men in jail extorting them for thieving drugs from a businessman, cocaine. Then he was promoted to Detective Inspector of Police. So it is a known trend in the police force back then. You thief and then you get promoted. Who were their handlers? I do believe that police officers must make money outside of the force. Honestly, in a honest way. police officer must not rob the people they have taken an oath to protect. Irrespective of what they are doing, there is no justification for police officers to deprive their citizens of their property and money. None. That's where I have several police enemies, because I would not say I like thieving police officers. Many police officers in Jamaica would rather to be friends with the known thieves. They would rather to be friends with the hawks, the cowboys, the arabongos, and I can name all the other thieving police in Jamaica. That's how these people are, you understand, than to be friends with a decent police officer. Like, you know, like a Kelso Small, or when, you know, you have some very, very decent detectives, like a Sticky, like a Reuben Gunter. Like Gunter now is an exemplary police officer. You can't even buy him not even a D&G drink. Now, I am telling you, that's so clean that policeman is. Although he's my junior man, you know, he's a very, very, very decent police officer. You cannot, there's no other police officer in the force that can even come close to this man's character and credibility. So, you know, give credit to him. I was a crime fighter, as you know, as was Reuben Gunter, and the others, Sticky, you know. And no police officer can say that I am a thief or ever thief with them. That's not in my DNA. If Rickie Bailey knew that there was a hit on his life, why return to Jamaica? The place where they want to kill him. That doesn't make sense at all. If you know that people want to kill you and you don't even have a gun with you, or even have a gun, and you go in there, you're supposed to be surround yourself with people that you know that be watching your head back. But he left it careless. Do you remember that I have written earlier about police officers in the Jamaica Council are willing to defend criminals in the police force, and solely others in defense of criminal police officers are trying to remake their image? Yes, Rickie Bailey was not my friend for the past 25 years because he collected money from others and changed his statement to protect another criminal police officer from being arrested and charged with corruption. For 2 years, I could not, from 1994 to 1996, I could not travel outside of the island of Jamaica or get vacation leave. If it weren't for retired Assistant Commissioner of Police Granville John Gau's smartness as a detective by photocopying Rickie Bailey's original statement, my career would have ended at the Court of Inquiry. It was Rickie Bailey's statement that exonerated me at the trial. His words prove liars to be liars. If we want a better Jamaica, I don't see it, because people are constantly defending their friends instead of the truth. If you don't know anything about things, it is best not to say anything, because you don't know these guys. I work with them. Ask retired District Constable Simon Essen about Neville Blanche from 2 miles and flight from Greenwich Town, Kingston 13. These men were Rickie Bailey friend. Ask Simon Essen what kind of men were these men. You would see them several times in his Lada car. Okay? These are men from the community, from St. Andrews South Police here. Whatever I'm writing and saying is not hearsay. It is primary and direct evidence, and I can prove and corroborate what I'm saying. As I have said before, and I repeat it, no police officer must rob the Jamaican citizen or visitors there. Their job is to protect them, not to steal. honestly, I do not see any better for the Jamaican Constabulary Force because police officers defend others who are thieves and want to be close to them. The first try to get the message is into the Jamaica Constabulary Force by shaming and get rid of the criminals who are police officers. What I have written is the truth, and I stand by it. As I have said before, I have more police enemies than criminals because many police officers are cowards and afraid when they were serving by calling out the thieves. When I was serving, if I know a police officer is a thief, detective or not, he cannot talk to me because I make it known in public that you're a thief and police officer. And people know that I'm a very serious detective. If the police force continue on the same path, we will have the most significant criminal organization with arrest powers. Don't judge a man by the number of friends he has. Judge him by the kind of enemies he has. And I have a lot of enemies. And that's character, credibility, ethics, decency, morality, and honesty. That's where it's at. When we all die, it's not the number of people who attends your funeral, but how you live your life with individual ethics, morality, decency, honesty, and self-worth. Funeral number doesn't prove anything about a man's character. Look at the late Willie Agarth Moore funeral. It was one of the biggest, like the late Lester, Jim Brown Coke. And what did both men have in common? Both of them, they were gang leaders. These men were killers, they were drug dealers, they were extortionists. These people just the name drive fear into the heart of people, even some police. Because some police, they are cowards, you know. The question is, who is behind thieving Rickie Bailey death and why? That's the million-dollar question that police officers in Jamaica who serve with Rickie Bailey know, and they are not going to speak for reasons unknown. Instead of a large crowd of immoral, unethical, thieving, dishonest, and desensitized friends and supporters telling lies, how you were a good person to them, and you were a choir boy, and you used to pray for the elderly, and I'm talking about thieving police officers. Instead, I'd rather go for a small crowd, humble, decent, and honest people. I make no apology for where I was born and raised. I do not like thieving police officers, and I will never ever like them. I know police officers who have Facebook accounts that people who have grown up with sent me their photographs and told me that they are the ones who robbed them. Even one of my squaddy, who has a Facebook account, is a serial robber, and he's serving in the Jamaica Constabulary Force right now. I don't care if he wants to hate me because he's a thief. If you're a thief, if you're a police and you're a thief, you're supposed to be proud that somebody calling you a thief. Those who are champion of Jamaica, that's and what the country offers, can go back home and retire. As for me, this is where I live, raise my family, retire and work. I don't know how a police officer feels when someone calls them a robber or a thief, and they know that it is true. I have more police enemies than criminals, and it is because I do not like or support thieving police officers or those who are transporting illegal firearms or criminal and helping their friends hide wanted people. Yes, but you must remember that the force doesn't cater to men. It is boys. Men make their decisions and boys implement what they are told by the corruptors who have the powers. I was told by one of the late Rickie Bailey's handlers, the same senior police officer who rose to the rank of Assistant Commissioner of Police, Derek Cowboy Arsemouth Clappernite, who is a robber, and an extortionist. And I can go further. That whatever you, meaning me, know about his clique, who's going to believe you? That means he's telling me who's going to believe me. If you report me of what you know, E-Clappinite has coverage at 103 Old Oak Road at the Commissioner office. And I know when he is reading this, his memory will take him back to the day we were driving along Walton Park Road towards Mullines Road, as he wanted to scare me, as if I'm afraid of anyone. No police officer should rob someone of their cocaine, ganja, and money or illegal substance under any circumstance whatsoever. That's the only legacy that the late Rickie Bailey left. A thieving police officer and nothing else. A cocaine robber and an extortionist, a thief. He was a coot. A police officer's job is to arrest and charge someone caught with illegal drugs by the police and not supposed to rob them, because two wrong doesn't make it right. The next video will be more interesting.